I think for all of us who live in Portland and work in Portland, we see every day what has happened. We have a lot of people who are not getting the treatment that they need, unmedicated if they have significant mental health issues, unhoused, and using sometimes as their way of addressing their mental health issues. I've been on the circuit court for more than 20 years. Before that, I was a juvenile court referee. I was the chief family law judge. I was the presiding judge. Now I'm doing what I find to be the most compelling, albeit some of the most frustrating work. I'm dealing with individuals at the intersection of the criminal justice and behavioral health systems. Right now, when I can't get people into treatment at the right level, or some people I can't get into treatment, and we are simply having to say, good luck. We have people dying at a horrible rate in the streets, in the jail, and not enough access to treatment.
I think one of the most unique and powerful aspects of Judge Waller's contributions to behavioral health is her singular focus on the experience of people who come before her as criminal defendants, and her effort to bring their stories and the stories that they experience to light as a principal North Star for how we develop services to improve the experience of all Oregonians, both those people and the people who have been victims of the crimes they've committed, frankly.
One of my people who I so admire his tenacity of holding on, but during the pandemic, he would come to court even when we didn't have court and say, Judge Waller, I'm in a crisis, every kind of crisis, physical, mental, I'm using again, and he would, please take me into custody. And I'd say, I can't take you into custody. There's not a basis for me to take you into custody. And he would cry and say, please, I need to be someplace. That's not the kind of community that we want to be, where when somebody is wanting help and wanting support, we have no doors open to them. I made lots of calls, and my staff made calls, and we got him something to eat. It's very cold out. He was dehydrated, exhausted. We got him some food and some water and got somebody to take him to one of the hospitals. And he was very grateful, but he said, Judge Waller, I'll be out by the morning. And he was right. He was released, and then he was back out on the street again. But he continues to show up. And I think that's the power of treatment courts, is that it creates a place for people to be where they know that they're going to be held accountable for their behavior, but there also is a whole team that is working to try to get them to what they need.
Judge Waller brings her fairness, her knowledge as a jurist. She also brings her commitment to social justice, but she doesn't compromise public safety. And having that kind of a balance with somebody that's behind the bench with the authority and power that a judge has is remarkable.
Judge Waller brings to the mental health community leadership and vision. Vision to see what needs to be done, and leadership to make sure that it gets done. She speaks with urgency and passion in the rooms where important decisions are made, and she creates momentum with her drive.
She's just a tireless jurist, a tireless professional, but more importantly than that, a tireless human being, recognizing that we've got some very challenging issues to address. They need to be addressed well. Sometimes I think she works too hard, but that is who she is.
We should be concerned about the well-being of our community. And part of that means being concerned about the people who are the most vulnerable in our community. All crisis should be seen as a moment of opportunity. It shouldn't just be a moment of crisis. If somebody was having a heart attack in the middle of the street, we would spring into action. We would get them to a hospital. And sometimes when people are having a mental health crisis, the solution is, well, there are a lot of doors closed to them, but there should be that same level of community response. This person is having a crisis, let's spring to and try to come up with a plan that will meet their needs, that gets them back to a point where they're able to make decisions, and let's support them in that.
Judge Waller deserves the Advocacy Award because she envisions a better tomorrow and does everything in her power to make it happen. She brings us along for the ride with her as she does so. In that way, she creates community and creates healing pathways for justice-involved individuals, and that's a remarkable feat.
I look at the people who come in front of me, and many of them have so little, and if I can get them to a point where they have some ability to have a life, to do well, to have a future, that certainly keeps me going. There is nothing that gives me greater joy.